And welcome, everyone. I saw a lot of things in the chat about where you guys are from. If you want to keep putting those in, go for it. I know a lot of people are probably in Washington. I know some of my friends are here, so hello to some of my friends, as well as teachers and professors. So to start, we first want to acknowledge that WSU's locations statewide are on the homelands of Native peoples. We express our deepest respect for and gratitude to these original caretakers of the region. We acknowledge their presence here since time immemorial and recognize their continuing connection to the land, to the water, and to their ancestors. Hi, everyone. My name is Ali Pang. I'm a junior at Wazoo, and I am the editor-in-chief of LandEscapes.
And hello, I am Noelle here in my colorful sweater, and I am a sophomore at WSU, and I am the managing editor of LandEscapes this year.
Yay. So for those of you who might not know who we are, LandEscapes is WSU's student-run literary arts journal. All the work you see in our journals is from WSU students. We publish fiction, nonfiction, poetry, photography, art, even music, anything under the creative spectrum, we will publish it. The journal stands to be a platform for students to have a voice to freely and creatively express themselves through art. So we want to welcome you to HomEscapes, LandEscapes' first virtual release party. Usually we hold this in person with like Ferdinand's ice cream and all that fun stuff. So to substitute for that, we suggest that you enjoy this release party with a bowl of ice cream of your own if you can.
Yes, and we do want to make this party as close to an in-person event as possible, as much as we can. So if you could, please help us out by just temporarily unmuting yourself at times when it's appropriate to clap or cheer. Longer comments, please feel free to send them in the chat. We'd love to hear what you have to say, but to minimize overlap, just don't speak too long out loud for us. We would just love some audience participation of clapping and cheering and snapping for poems whenever appropriate. So please don't be shy. So the journal release party this year is going to run just a little bit differently compared to previous years if you've been to other LandEscapes release parties. This year, we're celebrating both the 2020 and 2021 editions of the journals, just because we weren't able to celebrate the 2020 journal last year, and we really want to recognize all the hard work that went into making it. So we're going to briefly recognize the 2020 edition before presenting and hearing from our editor's choice selections from this year's edition. So we're going to start with our 2020 edition.
So the picture on the right is 2020's stunning cover, which was painted by Jabana Leon, who also had art accepted into the journal this year. So I have it kind of behind me. I know it's probably really small, so you probably can't see it, but it is gorgeous and I love it so much. Last year's staff was led by Sarah Quenzer as editor-in-chief with myself as managing editor. There was a lot of chaos of putting this book together because half of putting this journal together was in person and then the other half was online. Noelle did everything for the interior pages. She also did it for this year too, which is actually so incredible. But there was just a lot of chaos of trying to put this whole thing together. InDesign was being not so nice to us and it was just really difficult, but we managed to put it together and it was honestly incredible. I don't know if Noelle wants to chip in about her experience with that.
The experience of using InDesign on my little Mac laptop in my room back home, well, it sounds like an airplane if I have more than 2 tabs open. That was really fun, but the end product is something we're really, really happy with. So we wanted to go through the editor's choice pieces from last year and just kind of shout out the titles of those. So for our 2020 editor's choice, for nonfiction, we had The Art of Surviving Death. And then for poetry, we had 3 pieces: Paper Pinky Promises, Lupus, and Love Is Not All It Is, Not Meat Nor Drink. And then our fiction piece was The Lilac Years. And so if you're interested in these pieces and also the art and photography and all of the other wonderful pieces in the 2020 edition, it is available online currently. But if you would like a physical copy of it and you're going to be in Pullman next semester, we will be tabling as much as possible to hand out copies of this journal and this year's journal. So please pick up some whenever you can.
And so now we would like to introduce to you LandEscapes 2021. Let's get some claps in the chat or literal. You guys can also. That's great. I love that. Sporadic chaos is great. A quick special thanks and recognition to the following people. We didn't be calling people out, so great. The journal's advisor, Peter Chilson, for lending endless support for the journal, and the staff, DJ Lee and Cameron McGill, for giving a shout out to the journal during Visiting Writers Series events, Jessica Sloss for helping with campus-wide emailing and the printing process through all of that, and Lisa McCormick for sending email announcements throughout the year. And of course, thank you to the professors who allowed the staff to promote the journal before class or club events. Really, it means a lot to us to be able to, promote ourselves to everyone.
Yes, and we also really wanted to take a moment to recognize those who are suffering or in situations much more difficult than ours right now. We have compiled a collection of resources in order to bring awareness to social justice issues and provide a space to recognize marginalized voices. So these resources can be found towards the end of our journal, and we will also be posting these on our website and social media accounts, so please check them out when you can. Okay, so now we're going to recognize our executive genre team this year. So we had Puneet, who was in charge of poetry, Jamie, who was in charge of both art and photography, Joel, who was in charge of nonfiction, and Tasia in charge of fiction. And we've never had an exec team before, so it was so wonderful having this team of experienced LandEscapes staff to help us out with the journal creation. So little round of applause for our execs this year. Thank you all so much.
And we also want to recognize the genre editors within each genre, obviously. So in fiction, we have Andrew, Caitlin, and Hannah. In poetry, we have Alex and Jamie. And in nonfiction, we have Olivia and Thaddeus. So all of these genre editors, they worked so hard and put so much effort into the journal. We looked over 200 submissions this year, which is crazy. That's actually about the normal amount we usually get, which is incredible since we weren't allowed to we couldn't do tabling. And so they worked with every contributor that's a part of this edition. Honestly, let's just give a round of applause for all of our team. That's incredible. Yes.
All right.
And so I'm sure all of you are so very excited to see this cover for this year's journal, because I'm really excited to see everybody's reactions. So please put things in the chat. The interior pages, like I said earlier, were done all by Noelle through InDesign, the struggles of InDesign. I really cannot thank her enough for the many, many hours she spent in the LandEscapes office to put this whole thing together for us in literally a couple of weeks, which is incredible. And also every piece was copy edited by Jamie and Puneet.
So really quick to preface us showing you the cover, I just wanted to say that this cover this year was actually a handmade collage created by Madison Christian. We printed out images of the art and photography pieces that were submitted to us this year, and they went and skillfully created this beautiful collage. So if you're one of our contributors and you see your art on this cover, it's probably in there tucked in a little bit. So we're so excited to show you, and I would love to hear everybody's reactions to this amazing piece of art. So here we go. I'm gonna do a mini drum roll here by myself. Here is our 2021 cover. So I personally am so excited with how it turned out, and there's so many different, parts of this image, and I think it really
encapsulates script, because otherwise I'm fucked in that sense.
I think it really encapsulates everything that this journal stands for this year. It's very artistic, and I love it so much. So I really highly encourage you to check out Madison's account, which is @papercollages on Instagram. Allie, if you could send that in the chat, that would be great. And I am just so ecstatic with it. I would love to know what everybody thinks of the cover.
I'm seeing a lot of amazing comments. So yeah, definitely. It is a really awesome cover. I am so glad that it came together. I actually, really quick side story. When I saw the butterflies on there, I thought Noelle secretly, because she also likes butterflies, I thought she secretly tried to get butterflies, yeah, into the cover, but it's actually part of everything in this is part of our art genre. So really incredible. And it was, yeah, really awesome. I'm just letting the chat go off for a little while.
Again, if you're on the campus next semester, please keep an eye out for us tabling, or specifically seek us out, and we will give you a copy or two. And this will be our beautiful cover of the journal. Woohoo! Woo!
Yes, it's incredible. And thank you to everyone that's putting nice things in the comments. It's awesome. I feel like
And
such a streamer. Yes.
so I actually have one special thing that isn't written down in our script. So as we mentioned earlier, our wonderful, wonderful exec, Jamie, took on both art and photography, which with the amount of submissions that we received is a very big, amount of work to take on and be an editor for. So we really, really wanted to present Jamie with this special little present, which is the actual original collage, hand cut and put together in a little frame for you. So Jamie, we love you so much and we really, really appreciate every single thing that you do for us. So this is for you.
Thank you. That's so cool.
We love you so much.
Yes, we do. And so I know we probably want to stare at this cover forever, because me too. I would love to stare at this cover forever. I think somebody said in the comments that we could stare at this forever. However, we will now be moving on towards the editor's choice readings. These were the pieces decided by each genre as their favorite, which took so many meetings and discussions. I'm sure all of the genres can talk about that, and it was just really hard to decide. But we're going to get right into it, and we will start with the poetry's first editor's choice piece.
Hi, my name is Pani, and I'm the Poetry Executive Editor. I'll be introducing the Poetry Editor's Choice, Ludus Lost by Reed Brown. Ludus Lost by Reed Brown is has been a wonderful poem to read and edit throughout our time working with different poems. The poetry editors at LandEscapes enjoyed reading the poem and working with Reed to perfect what is already a phenomenal poem. The rhyme scheme in itself, along with the repetition of the word love, makes you want to read the poem out loud multiple times. Reed perfectly shows the emotions of disappointment, insecurity, and fun in this piece. From start to finish, Ludus Lost holds so much depth that you can slowly peel the layers after every read.
Thank you, Puneet. Good evening, everyone. First, I want to say that it is an honor to be here with all of you tonight to celebrate the incredible body of student work coming out of the strong community of artists here at WSU. The poem I will be reading for you tonight was born out of this community and the support I felt in Professor Linda Russo's poetry workshop last spring. Shout out to Russo. It feels strange now to remember our class crowding into one of the old rooms at the top of the Smith gym, but it was my first poetry workshop here at WSU, and I will always remember the sound of the heat churning on in the afternoons in the biting cold of January, the old window I sat next to and propped open in April. Around halfway through the course, Russo introduced us to a particularly infuriating type of form poetry, the ghazal. I have consistently struggled with form poetry throughout my training as a creative writer, and so too did I struggle with the ghazal's repetition, strict couplet structure, and tendency to make the writer feel intensely vulnerable with its last line. For context, for those who don't know, my given name is Savannah. 2 N's and an H, the whole 9. Although I haven't gone by this name in almost a decade, it contains so much of my identity. Being raised in the deep South, where the best a woman can be is an obedient wife, a vessel for producing life, and a keeper of the house, the name Savannah holds many of those themes of submission and a woman's loss of power for me. This ghazal was pulled from the depths of this personal history, and I hope you enjoy. Ludus Lost. Show them girls foxtrot style love, a little bit of back and forth subplot smile love. Demonstrate that bat of the lash, the dip of the hip while she walks. What's a girl gotta do to be born with that untaught wild love? Paint her fingernails with alcohol to feed the tender beds, from which those claws will scrape scraps of sunspot guile love. Carve a birdhouse under her ribcage for her to hide her mother's pain. When it comes to tempting young men, they'll need that boycott bio love. She can hide her own heart there too someday, behind the wooden door, because a mother's words can't keep at bay that distraught vile love. He'll tell her all the pretty things and sneak a swipe at dewdrop milky skin and pound a stake through her pretty heart so for him it bleeds a gunshot rile love. What did your mother tell you, Savannah, about looking too long in that mirror? You'll only see what isn't there, sweet thing, wanting on that bloodshot tile, love. Thank you.
Snaps for Reed. Thank you so much, Reed, for sharing. This poem is so amazing. Next, we're going to go into our fiction editor's choice. So Tasia, please take it away.
Hi everyone, my name is Tasia and I'm the fiction executive editor. I'm really happy with this really big turnout. I'm glad that everyone gets to be here to see these amazing pieces today, so yay for everyone. I'll be introducing the fiction editor's choice, which is Lover That Is But a Ghost by Ivy Shank. Lover That Is But a Ghost stood out to our editors as a piece of writing that stylistically combines the dreariness of everyday life with the foreignness of something we hadn't experienced ourselves. The blend between old and new created an atmosphere that lingered even after the words were finished, leaving a ghostly trace in our minds. So I present to you Lover But That Is Not, oh, I'm so sorry. Lover That Is But a Ghost by Ivy Shank.
Hello. Lover That Is But a Ghost is a story from the perspective of a girl, a prostitute, reflecting on her job as she walks home from a victim's house. We don't know much about her. We know she's been hurt, but we don't know exactly how. We don't know her background or where she comes from. We don't even know her name. These are all aspects that make her the mysterious character she is, a ghost. I first wrote a paragraph of this story during a free write in the 10th grade and didn't come back to it for a year. When I did, I fell in love with it, expanded on it, and made it close to the version that is published today. Back then, I was so scared to have anyone read it, so I let it sit on my computer for 4 years. I thought the subject was too taboo and that I would be judged for writing it. But the truth is that stories like my characters are far more common than we realize. Sex workers are real workers and real people, and they have stories, but many don't feel safe or welcome telling those stories. It is because of this that I felt like my character's story needed to be shared, not only because I was so proud of the piece I had written, but because I felt like I had a duty to speak for and humanize sex workers. My character and I are so lucky to have this story be embraced in this journal and to have it displayed among other equally amazing pieces of art, without the fear of judgment that stood inside me for so long. Here's my character's story, and I hope you enjoy it. I climb out the back door, barely leaving a mark. It's 6 a.m. and I was only paid for 4 hours. I've had my job too long to be embarrassed when I call a taxi to take me home. The walk of shame only stuck around for a little while, but quickly realized it wasn't needed. I'm not ashamed of my job. I used to be. I walked with the shame that society placed on people like me. My own friends, family members, even other girls tag labels on me and call me nasty names. And I believed it for a little while. We all believed it for a little while. I used to walk home with the word slut sitting on my tongue, my shoulders hunched forward and my eyes down. It's the shame that society placed on me by teaching me that I'm a burden and a disgusting waste of space. And eventually I believed it and I placed it on myself. But it's no use to feel that anymore. Now I have some sort of aura of confidence that surrounds me as I stomp out to the street at the peak of dawn in my skimpy club dress and 6-inch stilettos in my hands. I'm confident that I have given someone what they didn't know they asked for. I'm confident that I made a good wad of cash by doing it. When I crawl out of bed, I leave my most recent victim in an unconscious doze, snoring with beer still on his breath. He might wake up wondering how he got home, or he might remember everything, or he might think that he dreamt what he told me was the best night of his life. Yes, they are victims of excessive vodka and false love. I used to think hearts shouldn't be played with, but they literally asked for it, paid for it, and endured it. They didn't even know it was something to be endured. No, they might not have to endure it in the moment or even the rest of the night, but eventually they'll wake up and walk with their own shame. It's only fair, whether that be the shame of paying for a one-night stand or maybe even cheating on a lover. Even if they don't remember it, they'll still have to deal with the ever-eluding question of where the hell did all this goddamn glitter come from? I hope I have left some men in love with me, but never to find me again. And others, I hope I've left a sour little flavor in each of their rancid mouths. For I am the lover that is but a ghost. I lure poor, curious, vulnerable ones in my haunted arms and leave them with a mystery and a gut-wrenching feeling, not to mention a stabbing hangover and cockroaches on the motel room walls. I like to make up stories about all my victims, how they got to such a low point that they had to ask and pay for love and a lap dance. I like to think they went through such a hard life, a loveless childhood, cheated on or stolen from by the love of their life, or maybe just a bad breakup. I can never be sure, but no one falls into my trap while living a good, happy, picture-perfect life. A distressing life makes someone vulnerable and naive, and it makes me some good money. Sure, my day job as a barista could pay the bills, but having this job as well lets me live comfortably, and I get to mess with some hearts too. Maybe I'll even make my way around to the person who messed with mine. God knows I've changed enough that they wouldn't even know it was me. What a laugh that would be worth. I find my key that I stashed in the potted plant next to my apartment door and pat inside. The sun is just starting to glow through my window and onto the bed I rarely use. Stepping inside the bathroom, I look into the mirror and see that even though my makeup is a little smudged at the corner of my eyes, it's still there and it still looks pretty. Sometimes I think my waterproof mascara is stronger than I am, but who am I kidding? Nothing is. I wash off the club makeup and put on some concealer and only one coat of mascara this time. I throw on my khaki pants and barista apron. Then I go back to my closet and pick out a new club dress and lay it out on the bed so it's ready for me to slip on tonight.
Thank you so much, Ivy.
That was great. So we now interrupt these readings with a brief ad. Yes, we do have ads here. From a fellow arts organization on campus that you can join next semester, and you totally should. You should. It's really fun. So I'd like to introduce Aiden, the current English Club president.
Hello, it is Aiden. English Club is a safe and honest place for writers from all backgrounds to share their writing and meet other writers at WSU to talk about books, writing, poetry, plays, essays, fiction, basically whatever you have or enjoy making that involves words, and the hardships and joys of being a college student and a writer during these incredibly weird times. Over Zoom, English Club has hosted events like poetry writing sessions, trivia game nights, group art projects, and other cool stuff like that. And in person, before COVID happened, we had events like a murder mystery dinner, a spooky Halloween movie night, a comic book night, a children's book night, and other fun events like that. So we hope to see you in person in the fall. And now back to Allie.
Thank you. Yeah, so please screenshot. Also, like I said, this is going to be recorded, so you can always come back to this later to get this information. But anyway, now back to our regularly scheduled programming with Jamie for our photography editor's choice piece.
Hi, yes, Jamie. So you'll hear from me again in a little bit when I introduce the art editor's choice, but this is the photography editor's choice. It's Dreaming by Sheila Johnson. And while I was impressed by many of the photography submissions we received, Dreaming was probably the only piece that I knew was making it into the issue before it even like fully loaded on my screen. I just really love it for the model's pose, the way that the water's reflex translate in black and white. And it just, I don't know, evokes a lot of like good memories for me, which was helpful during 2020. Yeah, for me specifically, it invokes the sensation of jumping into a pool the first week of summer vacation, feeling refreshed and carefree and weightless, which again, necessary and helpful during 2020.
Hi, I'm Sheila Johnson. This is my piece. I'd like to thank you all for this opportunity to speak about my piece. I'm honored that it was picked as editor's choice for the photography section of the upcoming issue. I'd also like to make some other thank yous. I'd like to thank the videographer and photographer at my last college, Seth Lomborg, and my dad for helping in my photography training. They're always there to look at pictures I've taken and give me suggestions on how I could improve. They keep me motivated to continue growing and training my eye. I would also like to thank those who model for me, as my portraits would be nothing without the beautiful faces they let me photograph. Pictured here is my friend Taylor Coydall. So I am an avid believer in using big cameras to take pictures. I personally have a Canon 80D that I shoot all my portrait sessions on. But this photo is a testament to the notion that photography isn't about equipment. I just got a new phone after graduating high school, and I was really excited about the underwater feature. I had been saving up to buy a underwater casing for my Canon camera, but I was always scared that I was going to take it underwater and my Canon was going to be waterlogged and then just broken. And I didn't really want that. So I went swimming with my friend during the summer, and I spent the whole time with my phone testing if it was truly as good underwater as I had heard. And it was. Once I tested out the camera a bit, I started asking my friend to try some poses that had captured my mood and some ideas I had wanted to try. This picture captured my mood beautifully. A big mantra in photography is being in the right place at the right time. Always have your camera because you never know what might happen while you're out during the day. This photo, in my mind, is taking that ideal and bringing it to life. It wasn't taken because I was necessarily in the right place at the right time with my location, but I was at the right place at the right time in my life. It's a feeling of stretching out and being content, life becoming one with the dream. There's the lights and the darks in the photo that remind me that there are good times and bad times, and they are all beautiful in their own way. We are always learning and expanding and becoming more of who we are meant to be, even when we feel that we are drowning sometimes. I hope this image can be a source of beauty for those who see it. I hope those who see it recognize the intricate and differing messages of the photograph, and maybe even come up with a different meaning that I could never comprehend on my own. Overall, I hope this photo can be an empowerment to you. Thank you.
Woo, let's get a little round of applause for this amazing photo. Thank you. Thank you so much for everything you had to say, and we will move on to our second Poetry Editor's Choice piece.
Hi, Penny again. I'll be introducing the second Poetry Editor's Choice, An Ode to Trump by Isabella Warren. Our poetry editors love this piece for the cutting, assertive language Isabella used to place an unapologetic and scrutinizing lens on former President Trump and his very damaging legacy. When we first discussed this piece, it was uncertain whether or not he would somehow secure a second term. And even now, months into the Biden administration, this poem still feels relevant. The frustration that underlines this piece is all too relatable and justifiable. Ultimately, we chose this piece not only because we appreciated its craft, but also because it serves as a valuable reminder of the anger that characterized the Trump era. An ode to Trump prompts us not to become too comfortable or complacent just because someone else now holds the office.
Hi everyone. So the reason I wrote this poem is I write poetry when I feel strong emotions. So when I wrote this piece, I was really angry. Specifically, I was angry about how men treat women. I titled the piece when I turned it in and thought that Trump kind of encompassed that anger that I had felt when I wrote the piece. When I started working with the editor, the piece turned into how I felt about everything that had happened during his presidency. So here it goes. You poor, bigoted, patriarchal fool. I will not cater to your vile existence. Your desperate attempts to create a piousness in me towards your broken ego is pathetic. You have nothing to be proud of, bringer of anguish and pain. Your hands bring nothing but destruction. Your words shake the very foundation of freedom. You lead others arrogantly, praising nefarious acts that pervade our country's history. You polluted our honor, which was never pure to begin with. You walk as though your deeds have saved the world. You have not. Go rest your haggard soul. We have a mess to clean up.
That was awesome. I love hearing the reading of this poem, just saying. But yeah, so we interrupt these readings again with a brief ad from another arts organization on campus, which you can join again, also for next semester if you're interested. So I'd like to introduce Lauren Westerfield, who will be talking briefly about Blood Orange Review. I can also read it because I have her stuff here. So I will read for Lauren. Blood Orange Review is a biannual online literary arts journal housed within the English department at WSU and staffed by creative writing faculty and graduate students, as well as our beloved and invaluable undergraduate interns, many of whom are here this evening. Founded in 2006, BOR seeks to showcase both emerging and established writers with an emphasis on amplifying underrepresented voices. Each year, we rely on our undergraduate interns to serve as genre readers in fiction, nonfiction, and poetry, and to assist us with the growing list of additional internship roles, ranging from social media marketing to copy editing to web design. Interns can opt in for $4.98 credit or simply participate for the love of reading and discussing poetry and prose. To learn more, please email Lauren Westerfield. And yes, all the information there, you can screenshot it, do whatever you want with that.
Lauren said in chat that she's here. So Lauren, if you had more,
yeah, if you have anything else,
please say so.
Am I just to talk and then it'll come to me? How does this work?
Just anything that Allie didn't mention that you think is important for people to learn.
No, we're good to go. I'm so sorry about that. I haven't done one of these group things before, so that's just
we're glad that you're here.
Thank you, Allie. It was beautiful. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad I got it down. So anyway, back to our regularly scheduled programming. We will now carry on with Joel, who will introduce our nonfiction editor's choice piece.
Okay. Hi. Can you guys hear me? You can hear me? Okay, good. Sorry, my mic doesn't work sometimes. Hi, my name is Joel, and I'm the nonfiction executive editor. I'll be introducing and reading the nonfiction editor's choice, Chasing Happiness. Okay. The nonfiction section received like many touching and personal essays this semester, but I think Chasing Happiness was perhaps the most unique of them all. From the vivid imagery throughout the essay to the author's use of the Amish lifestyle to examine their own life, the piece does what I think a memoir essay should do. It pulls us into the author's search for happiness. This was one of the most unique and thoughtful reads we had this year, and we really hope our readers enjoy it and possibly consider, like the author, what their purpose is. Okay, and I will begin with the reading. My days were simple. I'd get up and we'd watch the water droplets glimmer in the sun. Afternoons, we'd take a nap, explore a new part of the garden, and end our evening in the living room. It was slowly becoming welcoming, the feeling of simplicity. There wasn't anything to stress about because there wasn't anything more. I didn't worry about anything beyond the present. It'd be a few months down the road when I would realize I wasn't running away from something. Rather, I was running to something. There was always something that I was chasing, but I never knew the target of my chase. It wasn't until I stumbled upon it that I realized what I was looking for. Chaos, simplicity, whichever I had to endure. What I wanted was happiness. At age 6, happiness meant playing outside with the neighbor's kid, Gavin. When I was 12, it meant getting over 20 likes on my Instagram posts. At 15, it meant discovering romantic excitement, dating people who made me feel desirable. When I was 18, it meant finding excuses to escape reality. At my current 20, it is expressed best in enjoying the little delights. These are the sounds of rain on bedroom windows, the smell of freshly mowed grass, the feeling of a particularly soft blanket. On my way to school, I take the long path to class so I can walk past the Myrtle Hall greenhouse full of flowers. I open the shades before bed and wake up to sunbeams on my face. And minor enjoyments we overlook all too often. Happiness, to me, is not a state of mind. Sadness and loneliness are states of mind. It's more akin to dark and light. There's always dark until light comes because darkness is not the opposite of light. Rather, it is the absence of light. Happiness is something to be pursued, but it is never far out of reach. Okay, and Lastly, I have a statement from the author about the piece, and it is the following. As an avid user of technology and a college student whose phone is rarely out of arm's reach, comparing happiness to the Amish were not two things that I ever thought I would base a personal essay on. Despite this, the creative yet frustrating process of creating this piece forced me to reflect on my definition of happiness and my understanding of what happiness can be. Chasing Happiness reflects on the year I spent with my grandmother and the complete change of pace that it brought upon my life. I gained a new perspective and a new definition of what it meant to be alive, and I urge you all to leave here today trying to notice the small things that give your life meaning too. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Joel, for reading that excerpt on behalf of our anonymous author. And Jamie will now present the art editor's choice.
Yay. Hi, me again. So I love these pieces so much. This is the collection. This is, I think, our first, yeah, okay. So the first collection that LandEscapes has published in the art category. So we'll be showing just a few of those art pieces, and the rest of them will be obviously available in our journal. So I pretty much immediately became a fan of Chi-Chen's work upon opening her first submission. Her command over watercolor results in beautiful, instantly captivating pieces. Those that we've accepted into the journal have all a similar subject, but she managed to make like each one unique, but maintaining that strong sense of connection and consistent style between them. And when I reached out to Ali and Noel about asking if there was any issue in accepting everything that she submitted, I learned they were both big fans, and so we hope you enjoy them as much as we do. This is her collection, My Muses.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Jamie. It is my pleasure to join this event tonight. And it's also my honor to be selected as an editor choice. I'm really, really happy to have this chance. So for my collection, My Muses, female lead figure is my key inspiration. It's not only just about the beauty I wanted to present, but for me, it's also a spiritual finding, discover myself, the feeling to discover everything around me, especially human. I consider human beings are very special, and I often have a very soft spot for women. I love to use my own way to capture the charm of the people. I would love to try to catch their body language by some simple stroke, even to express their unique character. And also, I would like to give some space for people who are viewing them to have their own imagination. I hope when people see my painting, they can feel the magic of the colors, to feel warm and calm, maybe to bring some delightful moment, to feel happy or just pretty, or to release some emotion or sad or sorrow. I put my heart into making those emotions, feelings to stand out from my painting. It is a story I want to tell from my picture, and I also welcome you to have yours when you are looking at them. I really hope you all enjoy it. And in the end, I would like to say thank you to everyone, all the artists, professor, and the editor, especially Jamie and Ellie, to help me with this. It is my first time to join something like this, so I'm really grateful. It's wonderful to have this journal to be able to publish, and it's great to have a space for all the voice to be heard and shared. I hope everyone here have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you so, so much. And like Jamie said, this is the first time LandEscapes has ever published an entire collection. We published 7 of Chi-Chen's paintings in the journal this year. So I think that itself deserves a huge round of applause. So thank you so much for sharing your art with us. We love you very much. So that brings us to the end of our Editor's Choice readings. We really wanted to thank all of our contributors this year, especially for creating art during very difficult times. it can be hard to create art in general, you know, much more during a pandemic when you're stuck at home alone. So we really wanted to give a huge shout out to all of the contributors who are here tonight. So we're just going to really quickly go through those who are here. When we call your name, please simply tell us the title of your piece and what genre it is.
Yes, so if I miss anyone, we'll get you guys at the end, but we'll start with Mary.
The Bite of the Big Apple, and it's Mary Williams.
Thank you. Alex? Or Alexandria, sorry. No, wait, never mind, sorry. I think they left. Aiden?
The title of my piece is A Horizon, and it's a poem.
Awesome, thank you. Phil?
The title of my piece is 20 Things Only a Person with Bipolar Would Understand, and it's nonfiction.
Thank you so much. Riley?
My piece is called The Witches.
Thank you. Oh, Gage?
I wrote a Cookies Manifesto, and it's a poem.
Thank you. Anna?
A poem titled If I Only Knew.
Thank you. Connor?
Hello, everyone. I wrote a fiction piece titled Theo.
Thank you. Karis?
Hi, I wrote a nonfiction piece titled All the Things I Wish I Could Tell You.
Thank you. Willow?
I created a piece of digital art called Growing Movement.
Thank you. Hannah? No, Hannah. Andrew?
My piece was titled Tree Frog on a Hydrangea, and it was a digital photograph.
Thank you. And I'm going to butcher this name, but it's Ilahe.
Hi, everyone. I got a picture from WSU. The name is My Beautiful WSU.
Thank you. Shelby?
Hi, my piece was called Thoughts on the Golden Gate Bridge, and it was in nonfiction.
Thank you. And last but not least, Michelle?
Hi, everyone. I wrote a poem and it's called Split of a Second.
And thank you. That is, unless I missed anyone else.
For all of our wonderful contributors. And if we missed anybody and you joined late, please shout yourself out. Just please let us know just in case we missed you. But so many wonderful artists here at WSU that submitted to LandEscapes this year. So thank you all so much.
Yes, I think we had about 43 contributors for this journal. So yeah, lots of people. So yes. Oh, Blair? I'm sorry, Blair. Blair.
I wrote How to Write a Fight Scene. It's a fiction piece.
Thank you. Sorry, I was going through so many names. But anyway, anyone else? You can say it in the chat too.
I joined a little bit late. I submitted a charcoal drawing called Porto Venere, as well as a poem titled Andrea.
Thank you, Aiden.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. So, yes. No. Okay. So we would like to introduce our final ad for our connecting organization, the Visiting Writers Series, otherwise known as VWS, which is looking to fill 2 internship positions for next school year. So please, you should apply if you're coming next year. VWS brings in many amazing writers and agents to host workshops and panels throughout the school year. As an intern, I personally think the best part is that you will get to actually be in contact with these writers, poets, people in the industry, and that is very cool. You can also make connections quietly on the side. And we also would like to know what you would like to see at events for next year. I will put a quick survey into the chat, which we will also put it somewhere, probably our social media also. so that people can basically let us know what you want to see for next year, what kinds of writers, what kind of writing you would like to see. All of that goes into that survey. So this is only for WSU students, but I mean, if you're graduating, you can also put stuff in there. It's fine. But yes, so all of the information for BWS is on there. And if you would like more information on BWS and or the internship application, just email the LandEscapes email, which is on there, which is the le.rso@wsu.edu. And yeah, we're going to move on to Noelle.
Speaking of people who are graduating, we really wanted to give a huge shout out to our senior editors. And if you are graduating and you're in this meeting right now, shout yourself out in chat. We really want to celebrate you. So just a huge round of applause for everybody and their wonderful achievements graduating WSU. So woohoo! So our staff senior editors were Andrew, Tasia, Thaddeus, and Caitlin. So thank you all so much. We're gonna miss you. Woohoo!
Yay.
Thanks, Allie and Noelle. You guys have managed this very, very well. Thank you for everything.
Thank you so much. And so to conclude, Noelle and I will be reading directly from the Message from Us page from the 2021 journal. Just a little bit of it, because if we read the whole thing, it would take too long. So this year's journal is a collection of the art formed from and through a worldwide pandemic. I think this alone is worth a round of applause. For some, art came easily with being stuck inside. For others, it was harder to create anything this year.
While the pieces inside this journal cover varying topics and tell their own unique narratives, each one stands as a sign of optimism and hope. This doesn't necessarily mean the message of each piece is about hope, but the pieces themselves are visible proof of artistic voices blooming out of tragedy and struggle. Art does not disappear with tragedy, it blooms, and we couldn't be prouder of every single voice that went into the creation of this journal.
So yes, let's just clap for that. Just get some round of applause out there. You can put some claps in the chat. Yes, it's just amazing to have all of this art. And I know we've said it a million times, but Noelle and I both mean it a lot, just to see how much art was being created despite everything that happened. So yeah, that's we're gonna close off. So I think there is no better way. So here's the thing. Our Campus Civic poet, I don't know if something came up, but we do have a poem by her, which we would like to read. I don't know if Noelle, you want to read it. And I heard Serena read a couple of times at virtual open mics, so amazing reader, and I'm so glad she's our Campus Civic poet. But this is her piece, Divinity by Serena Sharp, which Noelle will now read because I kind of just threw it at her just now.
Really quick, Allie, I think that you may have to read it because I can't turn off the music without me. And I don't want it to take away from the poem.
Okay, that's fine. That was on me. Now it's come back around to myself. So I'm gonna read Divinity by Serena Sharp, but I'm sure she could probably read it better than me. Silence is this sound. Your people are moths, flying like their wings are made of glass, and they're trying their best to smash it. And when you wake up, silence is a sound, a deep breath in mid-morning, sun sliding through shades, stretched skin over tendon and bone. Burn the flowers and start the garden anew. Transform the flowers into your people and make yourself a flower. Leave some of your life force behind. Can your freedom exist outside of fantasy? Divinity is in these trees, in the burls of the bark and the sap between and the cracks. In the silence, there is still the pink noise of our own blood pushing through our arteries and veins. And that is Serena's poem.
Thank you, Allie, for reading. Serena, even though she's not here. Okay, so next we're going to announce the lucky winners of our raffle. And if you don't know what we're talking about because you joined a little bit late, that's okay. All you need to do to enter is just quickly DM Allie on this Zoom chat, your first and last name, and she's going to have a numbered list of people, so we'll randomly generate a number for a winner. So while everybody enters in this wonderful raffle, I will kind of explain what the raffle is for. I have personally curated some really fun mystery boxes that sort of fit the LandEscapes literary themes. So we have a book lovers box, a stationery box, and a creative projects mystery box. If you don't know what a mystery box is, it's just exactly what it sounds like. a box full of stuff that you don't know what it is, but it's really exciting because you don't know what it is. And there's about 10 items in each mystery box, which is really exciting. So after we randomly generate the winners for the raffle, we are going to mail it out to the winners along with some copies of the journal. So I'll give you a few more seconds while this lo-fi background music plays to enter in the raffle, and then we will pick our winners.
Okay. I think I got everybody.
Awesome. What's the total number of raffle submissions?
23.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try to show this. Can you guys see this little wheel right here?
Yes.
And then as we go through the 3 winners, whoever wins first can pick their preference for what box that they want, and then we'll take that one off the list and go from there. Okay, are we ready? I'm so excited. I love
this. Let's do this.
Here we go. Oh, I guess an ad started playing. Oh, never mind.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
I think that's 20 if I'm reading backwards. Yeah,
20?
number 20.
20 is Mary Williams.
Yay, Mary!
Hey!
So if there's one of these that you prefer, please let us know and we'll write it down for which one you won.
Cool, thanks.
Do you have a preference right now? Because then we'll have everybody pick as we go.
Yes, I will take the stationary mystery box.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Allie, can you make sure to write that down for me?
Yes.
Okay. So, second time going through the raffle. I hope this is entertaining to everybody. I'm spinning a wheel. I wish I had like a real one so I could spin it in real life. Okay, here we go. Ready? And spin. Thank you, Allie.
I'm trying.
13? Number 13.
Lucky number 13 is Blair.
Yay!
Yay!
Congrats. So, book lovers or creativity, which one do you prefer?
I'll do the creativity.
Woohoo!
Awesome. Okay.
Okay, so the very last one will be the book lovers box, which is a really good one, I promise you. So, let's do our final raffle. Everybody cross your fingers. There goes the wheel. And that's 18. Number 18.
Number 18 is Willow.
Yay! So congrats, Willow. We'll have you down for that book lovers box, which, like I said, it's a pretty good one. So thank you all so much for entering, and make sure you stick around if you want to play some more games and win some more prizes. We have a lot more planned.
Yeah. And so that's you, Noel.
Sorry, I got caught up with my little wheel on my phone.
It's fine.
Okay, so we just want to give a huge thank you for this wonderful turnout for our release party event. We really, really appreciate everybody who showed up. Really means a lot to us. Thank you for attending HomEscapes. If you're interested in joining the LandEscapes staff for next year, you can email us, or if you just want to find out some more about us, we've got our website and our Instagram on the screen right now. Take a picture, write it down. Please keep in contact with us. And again, we really appreciate all of you taking the time to deal with Zoom. And we really hope that we were able to create an experience that didn't feel like just another Zoom meeting during Dead Week. So thank you all so much.
Yes, thank you everyone who, you know, like Noel said, stuck around with us. And yeah, we will be playing some literary and artsy games, which do have more prizes. So people that got stuff, you could get more stuff. Not that I'm trying to get you to stick around, but you could get more things. But yeah, so thank you everyone for coming to HomEscapes. It means a lot to everyone at LandEscapes for you being here, and to all of our contributors. Thank you so much. A ton.
And we'll give everybody just a few minutes to go to the bathroom, grab a snack, drink some water, and then we will start with our lovely little after party here. So 5 minutes, Allie? 3 minutes?
Yeah, 5 minutes should be fine.
Okay, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thank you all so much. We love
Yes.
you all.
And for the people that won the boxes, I will probably email you. I think I have everyone's email because I think all of you guys are contributors. So I should have all of your emails to get all of the mailing information sorted out. And yes. Thanks, guys.